In the world of Formula One, each race is often full of unexpected surprises. One of the most recent ones has been the surprising data that revealed the deadly side of Lewis Hamilton, which turned out to have a big impact on Ferrari's performance. How could Hamilton be such an obstacle for the Scuderia? Let's discuss. Legendary driver, legendary team, but results far from expectations. That's the picture of Lewis Hamilton's situation at Ferrari in the 2025 season. After a big move from Mercedes to the prancing horse team, many believed that a new era of Hamilton's glory would begin. In reality, however, the seven-time world champion's performance has been disappointing, and now data analysis reveals a surprising cause. Hamilton's own distinctive driving style may be the killer feature for the Ferrari SF25. The insight comes from Alex Brundle, a former F1 driver and analyst who is also the son of veteran Sky Sports commentator Martin Brundle. In the F1 Nation podcast, Alex dissects Lewis Hamilton's data from various races this season, and finds a pattern that could explain why the world champion has yet to match teammate Charles Leclerc. Lewis has a unique way of approaching high-speed corners, says Brundle. He presses the brake pedal a bit lower than Leclerc. On the graph, the wheel speed lines, the steering track and the braking form a pattern that is almost parallel, but with a more aggressive movement. And this pattern, which has always been his strength, actually caused the Ferrari SF25 to lose stability. The Ferrari, says Brundle, is a car that is sensitive to aggressive inputs. While Leclerc is able to control the car with more measured and gentle braking, Hamilton actually gives inputs that are too hard for the SF25's characteristics. Leclerc is Mr. Precision. He is very measured in his braking. Whereas Lewis, even when he was at Mercedes, showed a tendency to have the same braking style, and I see it again now. Seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton now faces the biggest challenge of his racing career. It's not about speed or age, it's about mental challenges and the need for extreme adaptation. He himself openly admits that there is a huge gap between himself and the performance of Ferrari's current car. In a statement that reflects both frustration and honesty, Hamilton even teased himself by saying that he would need a brain transplant to fully integrate with the unique characteristics of the SF25 car. So far, however, the expected transformation has not taken place. The adaptation, which should be a progressive process, seems to have stalled. With all his experience and success, Hamilton now has to learn from scratch, find a new way of understanding car behavior, teamwork rhythms, and technical dynamics that are very different from what he experienced during his years with Mercedes. F1 analyst Alex Brundle also highlighted the dilemma facing Hamilton. The question now is, can Lewis really change the driving technique he has built up over 2 decades? He said sharply. It's not just about cornering or braking points, it's about instincts, the instincts of a world champion that are so ingrained. Is it possible for someone like Hamilton to erase all that and start again? We'll see. It's not just a technical test, it's an existential test of his career. An interesting comparison is made with Carlos Sainz, the driver whose position at Ferrari was replaced by Hamilton. Ironically, Sainz has now adapted more quickly and effectively with his new team, Williams. Despite initial doubts about his ability to shine in a historically less competitive car, Sainz performed brilliantly, finishing 8th in the Jeddah race. A result that was not only surprising, but also a loud statement that he is still very relevant in F1. Carlos has fully integrated into the way his new team works, explained Brundle. He's learned quickly, he's opened himself up to a completely different environment, and he's made an immediate contribution. That's something we haven't seen from Lewis. His adaptation at Ferrari has been very slow, even stagnant. The pressure Lewis Hamilton faces today comes not only from the intense competition on the grid, but also from the increasingly extreme technical evolution of modern Formula One cars. The latest generation of cars are not just fast, they are precision-engineered machines that demand near-absolute perfection from the driver. Every maneuver, from braking to cornering, must be executed with near-perfect calculation and intuition. There is no margin for error. Even a fraction of a second's delay in reaction can mean the loss of a position, or worse, the loss of control altogether. McLaren team principal Andrea Stella points out that the nature of today's F1 cars is absolutely ruthless to mistakes. They are unforgiving. These cars don't allow for corrections, he says. Everything has to be done instinctively. If you don't, you'll immediately feel the effect on your lap times, your balance, your confidence. Commentator and former driver Martin Brundle also highlights the psychological aspect of the pressure. It's a deadly trait if you're not in tune with the car, he says. You try to make up the time, you try to make up the little gaps that you have because of the lack of feeling, but you end up falling further behind. And the further behind you are, the more you push. You try to make up for it with aggression, but that just widens the gap. It's a vicious cycle that's very hard to break. This creates a tragic paradox for a driver like Hamilton, a 7-time world champion who now has to adapt to a car that doesn't talk to him the way it used to. When the relationship between driver and car is no longer harmonious, even the best of the best feels inadequate. This is the new face of F1, an era that is faster, more technical, and merciless to those who can't adapt. Lewis Hamilton's problems are becoming more apparent with each qualifying session. In the first 5 races of the 2025 season, he failed to beat his teammate Charles Leclerc even once. This trend is not something that has suddenly appeared at Ferrari. Since last season, when he was still at Mercedes, Hamilton has shown signs of a decline in his qualifying performance. He has been consistently overtaken by George Russell, especially on Saturdays, a crucial day for determining the starting grid. "It happens every Saturday," said Hamilton with barely concealed frustration, referring to his inability to match his teammates' pace. Asked when he thought he would be able to get over this difficult period, Hamilton's answer was as honest as it was sad: "I don't know. It hurts and it doesn't seem to end." At the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton finally opened up about the enormous challenges he has faced this season. In an interview full of honesty and self-reflection, the legendary British driver revealed his main problem: his lack of confidence, especially in the medium to high-speed corners. A weakness that is particularly crucial on a fast track like Jeddah, where precision and courage are key. "To be honest, there's not much difference in the data between me and Charles," said Hamilton in a matter-of-fact tone, comparing his performance to that of teammate Charles Leclerc. "But I'm slower in the corners. There's a part of me that's not quite in tune with the car. We've got a slightly different setup, and maybe I need to really look at my approach and see if the car really supports my riding style." These words reflect a 7-time world champion struggling to rediscover his touch. No longer hiding the difficulties he faces, Hamilton shows his human side as a driver, that despite years of dominance, each season brings new challenges that require adjustment and introspection. Nevertheless, Hamilton did not hesitate to give credit to Leclerc and his team for their impressive performance. With his trademark sportsmanship, he said, "They definitely did a better job. Charles was very quick and the team did a great job finding the right setup. I just have to keep working, learning and adapting." It was not only an acknowledgement, but also a signal that the champion has not given up. That behind every defeat there is a burning determination to get back up and prove who he really is. And perhaps in the next few races, Hamilton will show his teeth once again. Hamilton is a living legend in F1, but 2025 proves that even legends can stumble over the challenges of adapting. His incredible skill over the past decade could prove to be a trap in this new era. The big question is, can he overcome the lethal nature of his own driving style to pave the way for an 8th title? Leave your thoughts below.